Hello beautiful friends, I've got a haul here from Notino and I'm kind of doing this on the hoof, so I'm just sitting on my bed and I'm going to show you what I got. So one of these is technically a gift from my husband and it's one that I already knew that I wanted, but all the rest are blind buys. I've got two body sprays and I've got then 4 scents from Korres because they had such a good deal on at Notino. I thought this was the time to do some testing out. We're going to start though with this one. I only added this to my basket because it was about £6, I think, so it was like super cheap. And I just wanted to try it, but I already knew this was massively risky because the house of DKNY is not a house that I normally get on very well with. So, it's a big bottle, but this is the Lime Mojito. I think this is called, have they got a different name for this? It's DKNY Be Delicious Lime Mojito from Donna Karan, New York. And I have to, this is going to be the last ever one that I buy because this one I kind of ordered around about the same time that I ordered the Be Delicious Honey or Nectar or whatever that one's called. And I just have to admit to myself that DKNY have a house DNA that I find screechy and harsh and just generally horrible. Pool Party, that's what these are called. This range is called Pool Party. So it's a really cool bottle if you get the perfume. But this, I was just thinking it's called Lime Mojito. Surely this is just going to be a cute scent. But, nah. This is perfumey, it's screechy, it has all the things in it that normally this house does, DKNY. They just do not suit me. I've never smelt a Be Delicious that I didn't think smelt harsh and perfumey in like a, I think they all smell cheap. I'm sorry, I just think they all smell cheap. There's something in the aroma chemicals that DKNY use that I can't get along with. There's one that I tried that's got like guava and like cream or something, I think, in it. That one is the same, super screechy. I've just never found a DKNY that I like, ever. I don't have any DKNY in my collection. This one's not going to stay. You sort of get a hint of the lime mojito, but it's just not good. The notes here are citron, bergamot and mandarin orange in the top. Mid notes are dewdrop and honeysuckle, and the base notes are musk and whitewoods. And I just don't like anything about this, to be honest. It's not mojito-y enough to be something I'd want to keep. It's body spray strength. There's not really much else to say about this. I just no. That was a definite no. And then let's do the other body spray. This one's a bit random. This is not on for Grantica. It seems very, very random indeed. This is Emily in Paris. This is a body mist. It's lavender and vanilla, and I bought it purely because it's lavender and vanilla. So, yeah, I can't really see anything on this about specific information. I was looking up because I think Bath and Body Works, which we don't really get here in the UK, I think they might have had some kind of Emily in Paris thing. I don't know if they've already done a lavender vanilla for Emily in Paris, but anyway, I just tried it because I love lavender, so I wanted to know what this smells like. So I can't really give you notes beyond lavender and vanilla, but I'm absolutely sure there's more than that in here. This genuinely reminds me quite a lot of the Being Frenchy perfume that the lovely Danielle got for me she bought it over for me from America because you can't get that in the UK. This is not quite as heavy, it's not quite as spicy, but it definitely has something in there that I wouldn't be surprised, for instance, if this does have cardamom. I wouldn't be surprised if it has some florals, some wood. It's really quite similar, in fact, to the point where I would say, if like me, you were in Europe and you've really been wanting to try the Being Frenchy body spray or the perfume, then this isn't identical, but this is like a really good alternative, I'd say, and it's super, super affordable. Again, I think this was maybe like about a £5, so I think it's pretty. It's definitely lavender. There's definitely vanilla. There's definitely some other things going on in here. It's not like massively strong. It's not too screechy. It's got the same Yeah, it's got the same slightly unusual smell that the Lavender Cloud had to me, which is cardamom and akigala wood in that one. But this one's a little bit softer, I think. But then, of course, it would be because this is a body spray, and the version of that Danielle bought for me was a roll-on oil and the actual eau de parfum. So this one's lighter, softer. I'm trying to decide how I feel about this one. I think it's quite nice. I'm not 100% on whether I want to keep this one yet, but I'll keep it for now. I'm going to try it out. I might just use it like a room spray or something because, you know, it was just a little cute cheapie. Right, let's do the Korres. So I'm going to start with this one, which as soon as I paid for this, I was like, oh no, because I remembered what it had been compared to, and I was like, oh, I think I've probably made a huge mistake. But luckily, this was just this is like a roll-on. I was really hoping that these 10 mils would be sprays, but they're not. They're roll-ons. It's an eau de toilette called Cashmere Kumquat, and this guy, as you can see here, I'm just seeing if this actually focuses well enough. Kumquat Mandarin Orange in the top, Orange Blossom, Jasmine and Almond in the mid, Cashmere, Cedarwood and Vanilla in the base. So this is the joy of Korres, is that they actually just give you the notes, which is brilliant. Okay. Let's take this out. They're very smart. I really like the Korres bottles. I really like just generally the style of this company. I'm trying to work this one out. I'm going to put a little bit of this on my skin, which I hadn't done previously because I'm a bit scared of this one. The reason being that this is compared to Alien, and I do kind of see what they mean. Aren't they smart? Aren't these lovely? I really like this brown kind of apothecary glass that they use. It's so cute. So, Cashmere Kumquat. It definitely has something alienish about it, which is a weird thing to say because, I mean, I guess Cashmerian is like a big part, I think. Is Cashmerian a big part of Alien, or am I making that up? I feel like Alien is like a really specific and unusual type of jasmine, loads of amber, and then Cashmerian. Am I making that up? Please tell me below if I'm totally wrong, but I'm getting, it's not massively sweet, it's a bit sweet, there's some fruitiness, there's a lot of that jasmine, I would say. I mean, it's kind of hard because this is definitely better on skin than on paper. But it's so weird how it does smell a bit like Alien. It's not exactly like Alien. This, I think, is less out of this world. It's less otherworldly and a little bit more natural smelling. But yeah, it definitely has vibes of Alien, which I find quite strange. But I will try wearing this one and then I will get back to you because I don't hate it on my skin, and because it's from a rollerball, it's quite soft. And to be fair, this is an eau de toilette from Korres, and they are soft skin scenty perfumes. So yeah, I'll give that one a go. I wasn't sure if I would even try wearing this, but I will give Cashmere Kumquat a go because that's actually not too bad on skin, but it definitely does have wisps of Alien. Maybe this will become my kind of easy wear skin scent Cass version of an Alien type scent, because it's not that I hate Alien, I just can't wear it. I don't mind it on other people, but yeah, interesting. Okay, good to talk my feelings out sometimes. So the other rollerball, the little 10 ml, again, I just got these because I'd never smelt them before, so I didn't want to invest in the more expensive bottles of them. So wherever I could get something a bit cheaper, that's what I did. This is White Tea from Korres. I love a tea perfume, and you know, I figured this one would probably be a pretty safe bet. So top notes of bergamot and neroli and mandarin, heart notes of jasmine, peony, white tea and freesia, base note cedarwood, oak moss and musk. So again, very smart, very nice. Let's take this out. I've got some of this on my skin already because you know, the thing with like white musk and white teas and this kind of thing, you really do definitely need to put them on your skin. You can't really smell them very clearly on paper. So another beautiful bottle, eau de toilette of white tea. So let's nestle that in there. I've got this on my arm. This is really strange. Like, this is so strange. Definitely a skin scent. There is a very gentle sweetness here, but not much. It's quite dry. When you first put it on, it's very sharp indeed. Alcoholic smelling, like, it's like, astringent, I think is the word I'd used. But it dries down, it gets a bit sweeter, it gets a bit more aromatic. But weirdly, I mean, I'm looking at these notes. I mean, I feel like this is probably the same jasmine that they've got in the Cashmere Kumquat. It's got that same strange smell about it. But this smells aniseedy to me. Not quite licoricey, not quite that dark, but like aniseed balls. Yeah, there's something weirdly aniseedy spicy in this, and I'm not really sure where that's coming from. Literally the only thing I could blame is like a strange type of jasmine. And again, not a million miles away from the alien jasmine. But I mean, it's kind of pretty. It is quite nice, but it's an interesting smell. I don't know that this particularly smells like tea. Let me just smell this again. I wouldn't smell that on my skin and be like, oh, that's a tea perfume. I'm not really... I mean, of course, unless this is some kind of aniseed tea or like a licorice tea or something. Like maybe there's a certain type of tea because it just says white tea. But yeah, this is an interesting smell. I think this could be, I would say this smells more like a sort of, I'm just going to smell again to make sure I'm not making this up. More like an aniseed musk. Like that may sound weird. That might just be how my nose is picking it up. I don't love it. I'm not sad that I don't have a big bottle of it, but at the same time, this is one that I'll keep hold of and I'll try it out because I think in hot weather this could be quite interesting. It's quite unusual. I don't really know what to compare this to. I'm going to have a quick look on the old Fragrantica to see what it is compared to. Okay, so DKNY Pure. I don't know what that one smells like. Is that Versace? Is that with scents? Not sure what that one's called. There's a Katy Perry one, the one that's got guava in it. I don't think it smells like that. Was that called like Kingdom or something? The one that's like a blue crystal. That's Gloria Vanderbilt, the Jardin one. I don't really think this smells particularly like that. I had that one. Obsession Night. I don't really think it smells like Obsession Night, but it has got something slightly unusual in it that I can almost see why someone might say that. Stella Pop Bluebell. No, I don't think this smells anything like that. Yeah, so this one's kind of mysterious to me. This doesn't smell anything like I thought it would smell like. It's interesting though. So yeah, if you like the idea of something that smells maybe a bit aniseedy, then this might be for you. So now we have some big boys because for some reason the gift sets were on a really good sale and they were like I think they were under £20. They're so big I can't quite fit them in, but you can see. So this is Lefko. This is a 50ml eau de toilette and then a body wash, a shower gel. So they're really fancy. So we've got, let's see, it has the notes on the back. And then again, like, it's really nice the way these are packaged. Really nice. Formulated by women. Interesting. Okay. Made in Greece. Natural ingredients, you can see. And then it comes like this, which is very lovely. So, going to take the perfume out. As I've said, I love these bottles. I think they're super pretty. Really, really nice. So this is Lefko. I sometimes feel like when you get them from Natina on their special offer, it's because the labels are slightly off. So maybe they sell them like for cheaper, or they sell them on to grey market. This is so strange. Okay, so there's going to be people who really love this, so I'm sure of it. So this particular perfume, Lefko, As you can see, top notes of lily of the valley, heart notes, rose and peony, base notes, musk, powder and white sandalwood. Now, when I first sprayed this, I was like, oh my God, it is so astringent. Again, it's like, it almost smells like some kind of like very dry, sharp white wine, or maybe like a rosé wine or something. It's very, it's almost extremely harsh, I'd say, when you first spray it. And again, it's an eau de toilette. There's probably quite a lot of alcohol in this. Yeah, it really smells like a rosé wine when I'm sniffing it. And then it starts to dry down. It gets much more floral and it turns into a full-on shampoo, like a flowery shampoo. No fruits. In fact, the deep dry down of this, I'm still really tossing up how I feel about it, because I do not like shampooy perfumes, but in the dry down, something about when those powdery notes come through, it starts to smell like a bar soap and a shampoo. So it smells like you've, if you imagine you've just washed your hands with a lovely bar soap, but then you've put a whole load of shampoo in there ready to wash your hair, and it's quite a kind of screechy, sharp, flowery shampoo. Or maybe you could say it's like, you know, a kind of cheap hand wash, but next to quite a nice bar soap. And it is those two together, and it's quite flowery. So you're getting a decent amount, I would say, of the old Lily of the Valley, and you're definitely getting... I quite often find peony to be very sharp and a bit screechy sometimes, so maybe that's what it is. But I don't think... But it is actually really pretty at the same time. I just don't know that I can get on with how shampooy this is. What it does remind me of in a little bit is my Cerise Etoile, which is my L'Occitane cherry blossom perfume, and it's one of the flankers from a few years ago. So Cerise Etoile is, I think that one's got like lotus or something like that in it, but it's also got cherry blossom. I don't know if there's rose in that maybe, but there's a lot of other florals in it that give it a kind of almost shampooy quality. But again, it's one toe into shampoo and the rest of it's kind of like a bar soap in the dry down. This is like a bar soap with a whole foot in the shampooy region. But it does have an almost similar feel to it. And I think it's really pretty. If you like shampooy perfumes and you like florals, I think this is a really beautiful spring-summer perfume. It becomes much, much nicer as it dries down. So this is another one that maybe I will try out in warm weather when I'm out of the house and I'm just wafting around, because wearing a shampooy perfume while I'm inside the house will drive me absolutely up the wall. But if I'm out and about, I might try Lefko and see how I get on with this, because I do think it's really pretty. I just don't know that it's going to work for me personally. But yeah, it's very, very pretty. If you like shampooy perfumes, then I would highly recommend Lefko. I think this would be a really good option for you. And then the last Korres, this one is, I really think this is very good. So we've got this one. This is Avgoustos. Is that how you say it? Sun-drenched islands, love it. You can see it's got a kind of rocky, what's this, like a wall, a cool rocky wall, eau de toilette, and then it's got body milk with it. I'm not really sure why some of these have shower gels and some have body milks, but you know, whatever. And again, you've got the notes on the back. I can't remember if this is supposed to be unisex, because some of theirs are advertised for men and some are unisex and some are advertised for women. But, okay, so again, if we have a look, it's rather beautiful, lovely, cloudless summer. And this does smell like a summer holiday to me. It really does. This is a fig perfume. I had to try it because it's fig and it's lavender. I love lavender. This, I think, is an excellent alternative to a more expensive perfume. So let's take a look at the notes. Let's just drop this down. So, Avgoustos is top notes of mandarin, lavender and bergamot, heart notes of fig, lemon tree leaves and orange blossom, base notes ambergris musky and cedarwood, ambergris musky, So it's definitely a fig perfume. It starts off very, very green. You get a really green orange blossom. You get a real kind of lemon tree leafy smell. You get a lot of bergamot. So it's almost green the way that you get greenness with like just a general petitgrain perfume. Do you know what I mean? Like it's really, really green. And sometimes what you get in neroli, like I said, very leafy, very green, but in a very natural way. I think it smells like you're literally rubbing leaves between your fingers and then sniffing them, like you're in a garden, or, you know, realistically, you're somewhere absolutely beautiful and you are on a beautiful holiday and you're in the orange groves and you're sniffing your fingers when you've been touching all the trees and the leaves. And then it dries down, you get more and more fig. And then you get this kind of soft, slightly soapy muskiness in the base. It's definitely a skin scent. It's really pretty, but it is quite similar to Philosophus from Diptyque. It's not quite so strong in the fig. The fig's a little bit. I mean, it's not that it's not dominant. It's just not as dominant because Philosophus is literally like you've just opened a fig in your hands. This one, there's a little bit more going on. It doesn't smell quite so intense like that. It's also not quite as strong. It's a little bit more sheer. It's again more like holiday like. And I think that Philosophus dries down to get a bit soapy, almost a bit lotiony. This one I think stays less lotiony and a little bit more on the bar soap side of things. But it's still really fresh. It smells clean. It smells holiday like. It's very unisex. So, I mean, this one for me is sitting between two other perfumes that I really like. I have a pen spray of the Philosophus EDT and I really like that one. But I also had CK1 Gold, which is a beautiful fig and vetiver perfume that I gave to my husband. That one, I love it. I love it on him. But the vetiver in that was too masculine for me. This one doesn't turn too masculine to me. This still stays properly in the unisex realm. And I'm really digging this one. And I'm thinking, I'd just love to wear this on a holiday. And smelling it from the bottle, you've got fig, I mean, the lavender. I'm not sure I'd massively pick out lavender here, but there's definitely something making it even more beautifully aromatic. Kind of, again, it's got that apothecary smell to it. But you've definitely got the lemon leaves, you've got the fig, you've got some musk, and you've got a bit of that orange blossom with a real greenness. And it's just lovely. I'm super happy about this one. This is beautiful. You know, it's one you'd have to respray quite a lot because these eau de toilettes from Korres don't last that long. But, you know, if you're wearing them in hot heat, you want them to be fresh, you want them to be refreshing. And that's exactly what this is. So I'm really digging it. I have to say, yeah, the Lefko with the flowers is much longer lasting. It's stronger. But this one is more up my street. So Augustus is beautiful. Sorry if I'm saying that completely wrong, but I think this is absolutely lush. So then the last thing that came from Notino was the one that's a gift from my husband. And I'd wanted this since I went to Selfridges with Danielle and I smelt this one again. I used to have this in my collection when I must have been like in my 20s, maybe early 20s. I'm trying to remember. I feel like I had this before university, but I might be wrong. This is one of the first perfumes that I went into Debenhams to buy for myself. It was probably about £40 back then. Nowadays it's like 100 and so, well, it's more like 90 I think for this bottle, 96 or something. Notino had it on a special offer, so it was more like 70. This is Herba Fresca from the Aqua Allegoria range from Guerlain. I smelt this when I was in Selfridges with Danielle and I remembered why I loved it so much when I first bought it. And it's because it's just such a happy smell. I love the mint in this. It's just so up my street in terms of like summery high heat perfumes. And I thought, I really want this one. And when my husband said that like he was going to be getting a bonus and he wanted to get me something nice, and I was like, oh, nice. This is what I chose. So let's look. And also, it is about time that I got one of these bottles back into my collection because I used to have this and I had the Pamplemousse as well. Mm, this is like such a happy perfume. Not just because of the memories, just because I think it's so beautiful. It's got like, you can't really see it here, but it's got a very slight yellowy greeny tone. You can kind of see it at the bottom here. So, eau de toilette, we all know about Aqua Allegorias, don't we? They're very much kind of skin scenty, but beautiful, yummy, fresh, clean perfumes. I know they've had a few different types that are a bit stronger recently, but I mean, for my personal opinion, that kind of defeats the object of Aqua Allegorias. Um, I think the joy of them is that they are beautiful high heat summer perfumes, but I'm sure lots of other people who love them get very annoyed with the fact they don't last very long. But let's look at the notes for Herba Fresca. Now, this has changed. I feel like, I think maybe when I had this, it had like a little, this kind of like, is this a hexagon? Am I making that up? Like a hexagon shape? Like a little plastic label. I don't think it looked quite like this. When did this first come out? I'm going to check. 1999. There you go. So I probably had this in around about the year 2000. And I would have been 18. Am I making that up? Yeah. No, I would have been 18. So this would have been just before I went to university, maybe just when I was starting up at university. And I just thought this was beautiful. I had to have it. It was lovely. I think the bottle actually managed to go off before I finished it, though. It might have been one that I kept at my mum and dad's and didn't take with me to uni. I don't remember. But I just, it was so perfectly up my street. And looking at the notes now, which I didn't at the time, I just smelt it in store and thought, this is lush. And I'm a girl who, because this came out then in the same year as Elizabeth Arden green tea, and I had that as well. I also had spiced green tea. I remember that one too. That's another Francis Kirk de Jean. Now that he's so famous, don't you think they should just bring back spiced green tea, because that was a Francis Kirk de Jean perfume? Like, seriously, come on. Let's just bring it back. So this one is so interesting, like I said, to look at the notes and see this again now that I am actually doing perfume YouTube and I feel like I know so much more about perfumes than I used to. The top notes here are lemon and clover. Mid notes are mint and green tea. Base notes, lily of the valley and cyclamen. Now, I love tea perfumes. I love green tea. I totally understand why I would love this. I love mint in a perfume as well. And interestingly now, I can really smell the clover here, and that's the unusual part of this perfume. So clover is something that I feel like the most obvious clover note I've ever smelled in a perfume is in Calvin Klein Truth. I ended up decluttering my bottle of Calvin Klein Truth because the dry down of that became a little bit too much like a kind of vintage 90s woody perfume. It had a kind of, it almost reminded me of Dune from Dior a little bit in the dry down, even though at the top it's like a super fresh, interesting perfume. But the clover note I really, really liked. And smelling this again, I'm like, oh, there's that same clover. And it's so pretty. It's so lovely, this perfume. This is definitely in the same kind of area as the original green tea. It doesn't smell exactly like it, and it's far more minty, and that's one of the reasons that I wanted this for summer. It's like on hot days, oh my god, this is going to be incredible. But like Chanel, Cristal Ovette, and the recent Jeanne en Provence I got, which is called Verveine Thé Blanc, which is another tea perfume, and my green tea. These are all in the same kind of area. They're all in the same, they all have the same kind of feel in terms of being that beautiful, gentle, ever so slightly floral, herbal, you know, it's got all of this beautiful greenness, a little bit of citrus, but there's like this kind of, I mean, even in this one, it's almost like there's a musky dry down. Oh, I love it. I am so happy to have this back. I can't wait until, like, I'm making this video just after this has arrived and my husband's out at the moment, so I can't wait to show this to him and let him smell it because he funded this particular bad boy. But oh, it is such a happy perfume. Truly a happy perfume. And you know what? I feel like this is a happy perfume as well. So I'm really chuffed. I've got two new beautiful summer perfumes here that I'm definitely into, which, you know, this isn't a blind buy, but considering this is a blind buy, that's actually quite lucky for me because I often don't like I often don't like blind buys because I'm so fussy. I'm a fuss pot. But this is beautiful. So yeah, it's stupidly expensive. The one thing I will say about this is because before I asked my husband for this, I bought a partial bottle from eBay and it had definitely gone off. It had gone kind of weirdly peppery. And I think that's what happened to my bottle as well. I don't know why, but the Aqua Allegoria perfumes just don't last very long. I think that you have to spray them quite regularly. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to take care of this one well enough and it's going to survive well. But yeah, I feel like, you know, if you're going to, don't keep it out in the sunshine and that kind of thing, because this is just not going to last. But it's possibly the case that you shouldn't risk buying Aqua Allegorias secondhand because I don't know how well they survive. So yeah, I ended up having to return that for a refund and then I had to just get the new version. And the new version's beautiful. It smells like I remember it, to be honest. It's like, it certainly doesn't the dry down anyway. Yeah, it's got all the essential elements that Herba Fresca has always had. It's just so pretty. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for it to be warm enough for me to wear it, you know. It's like it's really quite beautiful. So anyway, I'm going to stop going on. I'm really chuffed with and with how interesting actually this haul was. I feel like the Korres stuff is super interesting and they're a house I'd be happy to explore more. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd be super happy to try more of their perfumes if I see them for good prices. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know if you've got any of these down below and I will see you again soon with another haul. Bye guys.